So many men start with a spark, but they never build a fire. They want the results, they lack the routine. They want greatness, but they lack consistency. Without consistency, you can't build anything great. See, thriving men don't just show up. They show up again and again and again. It's not about starting strong. It's about staying strong. The key to thriving as a man, of the C's that we've talked about, is this consistency. Do you want to know how you can be more consistent? Check out this video. Consistency is one of those things that separates the men from the boys. It's one of the things that separates people with talent to true greatness. The Bible doesn't say, well done, one-time achievement. You had your one shining moment. It says, well done, good and faithful servant. And today what we're going to talk about is consistency. It's one of those things that, like, one day you're motivated, you want to get up, you want to go to the gym, you want to do something great. There's other days you just don't even want to get up. How do you have the same behavior in both circumstances? Sometimes the pressure's on and everyone's looking at you. Sometimes no one knows what's going to happen. And would anyone know if something didn't happen? How do you be consistent in both environments? That's what we're going to talk about today. I want to give you a few principles of consistency that, if applied, would be a game changer no matter whether you're a computer programmer, a delivery guy, or whatever it is that you do, a political leader, a business leader, you're starting your own business, an entrepreneur, stock exchange, whatever it is you do. If you do it consistently over a long period of time, that leads to greatness. It's boring at the beginning. It's admirable at the end. It's the kind of thing that most people, they look at and think you got lucky. You didn't get lucky. You've been doing the same thing for a long period of time, and they're not willing to put in the work to get there. That's why the Bible tells us, to those who are doing the right things, Galatians 6:9, don't grow weary in doing good. The proper time, you're going to have a harvest. Don't give up. So, what are our principles today? First of all, your habits reveal your hope. What you do on a consistent basis reveals what you're hoping in. Unfortunately, too many people have a lottery hope. Lottery hope is, I just hope that I can put my nickel in there and then all of a sudden hit for the jackpot, the million, and I'm going to put my nickel of talent in, my nickel of time, my nickel of, and then I just hope that things turn out this great way. But here's the reality. Consistency flows from conviction, not convenience. If you're disciplined and motivated only when you feel like it, you're already losing. Your habits are these seeds of the future harvest that you will reap in your life. So, if you want to achieve great things, you can't be staying up watching Netflix all night. You can't have your bag in the hand on the potato chips all the time. I'm not saying there can't be moments, but consistency beats intensity every time. You don't need more hype. You don't need another video that tells you, you can do this, get out of it, you got this thing. No, you need better habits. And so that I'm talking about your habits revealing your hope. Your habits, if they're going to be food habits, if they're going to be financial habits, if they're going to be relationship habits, if they're going to be all these different areas where we can apply this, they're going to show you. Do you just hope that something good's going to happen? That's just wishful thinking. Or do you know, because the Bible talks about a different kind of hope. The kind of hope we have as believers is something we haven't experienced yet, but we already know that it's true. And you need to know that if you put in consistently good disciplines in your life, habits in your life, like lifting weights, like running on the treadmill, like eating the right foods, whichever diet you pick. I don't care if it's a Mediterranean diet, it's a carnivore diet, but don't pick the junk food diet, because you're going to reap what you sow. If you consistently put those things in, that your hope is that you're going to do the right stuff and you're going to get good results. Your discipline is going to determine where you end up tomorrow. And so first principle is that your habits reveal your hope. So I want you to think about how can I journal my habits? Because you have, whether you've been intentional about them or not, you have habits. Most of us have good intentions. Maybe you're an athlete. I'm going to shoot 100 free throws when I get home. I'm going to touch the ball 100 times as a soccer player. But then practice was long and you got this homework and you stayed up too late the night before. And your habits are what you do in those moments. If you do it anyway, that's your habit. That's a good habit. If you don't, bad habit. You keep procrastinating, bad habit. You put yourself down and do the hard stuff first. Good habit. Good habit would be to do this. When is your best energy of the day? For some people, it's morning. For some people, it's the middle of the day. For some people, it's later. Do the hardest work in those moments, because usually we save those moments for what we want. Your habits reveal your hope. Second principle about consistency is this. Consistency makes you credible. Consistency makes you credible. Somebody might love that you hit a great shot. Do you know Christian Laettner in the game where he hit the shot was 10 for 10 from the free throw line, 10 for 10 from the floor? That's pretty consistent. See, trust is built on a track record, not just on your talent. It's built on the things that you do continually, regularly, dependable, over time. Not, hey, I showed up to pick my kid up in the carpool line on time once, and then you build insecurity in them every other time. No, if you do that consistently over time, they know you're going to be there. And if you're ever not there one time, they're not thinking, this is how it goes. I knew that I've got to find another ride. Nope, someone might be wrong, because you show up on time all the time. And do you do consistent things all the time in your marriage, in work, in fitness, in your spiritual life? You see, I asked one guy at one time, how did you become so wise? Why is it I come to you for counsel all the time? Right, Mark Rylander? That's who it was. He told me, start reading Proverbs every day. Well, it wasn't like I read the Proverbs the next day and all of a sudden I had all the answers. But you know what? If you read Proverbs over a long period of time, it's wisdom literature. You grow wise. And you also are attracted to other wise people. And then they do wise things consistently over time. So your consistency creates a climate that people can count on you. And then you end up attracting people who want to count on you and other dependable people. And here's some straight talk. Inconsistent men, they leave a trail of confused followers. They never know what they're going to get from day to day. At home, at work, in the mirror. You might even know yourself. And so here's the reality. The grind you repeat becomes the greatness they admire. So what's the grind today? And is it going to be the same grind in 2 or 3 years? I'm not saying you can't start a new business, have a bigger dream. I'm not saying that, but accomplish the thing that you set out for here first. Here's the third thing I want you to realize. God honors the grind. You say, well, I don't know about that. That's kind of like, David Goggins talk. Like, get out there, do the thing. All right, look at Jesus' life and his consistency. How often did he get alone and pray? We don't get to see most of those prayers. How often do we see throughout the scripture people like Daniel and their consistent time with God coming out in a significant way later? David, he's consistently being faithful, shepherding these sheep. Moses, 40 years in the back years of the desert. And you look at the life of Jesus, his prayer, his service, his obedience. It wasn't just his mission that he was accomplishing. It was that. But his mission had a rhythm to it. Because thriving isn't about the speed, the pace that you're going at. You go as fast as you can without being in a hurry. See, faithfulness and consistency is about stamina. And I'm going to tell you right now, the first part of my life, I was a sprinter, and that's what I wanted to do. And I'm going to go hard for a little bit, and then nothing. Hard for a little bit. I remember my wife and I started running some marathons together. I needed to run with her in order to be able to even know how to pace myself. Because every time she wasn't with me, I'd go faster than I should be going. I'd run out of energy too soon. Some of you need people around you to be able to consistently be a part of the grind, spiritually, relationally, financially, academically, like in every way. You got to surround yourself with some people and some accountability in order to increase your consistency. God honors the grind. You've got to keep showing up, staying the course. And who does he say well done to? It's those who finished well. And in Matthew chapter 25, well done, good and faithful servant. Here's the reality. The enemy is not afraid of your potential, but you can wipe them out with your persistence. You see, your talent, that's just like a flash in the pan. Your consistency is what finishes. And what we need are men who finish well. Even if the beginning of your life is a rough start, or you've hit a rough patch in the middle, you're going to be remembered for how you finish. Finish well, my friends. Last thing I want you to think about is how to build this consistency in your life. How can you be a man? You want to be a man who thrives? And we've talked about curiosity, talked about courageous calling, we've talked about connection, you need other men, we've talked about communication, but here as we talk about this consistency, how can you be consistent? Here's what I would challenge you with. Start small. There are some things where I'd say big, audacious goal, your courageous calling, being curious. But with consistency, start small. Get some victories under your belt. Don't try to do 20 things. Like you say, all right, I got you. You've already mentioned, Scott, you've mentioned fitness, and you've mentioned academics, and you've mentioned work, and you've mentioned marriage, and you've mentioned the kid, and you've mentioned these daily routine things. Okay, why don't you just pick 2? How about this? How about you make your bed? And how about you are on time for every appointment that you have this week, and just do that. And if you didn't get it, if you didn't nail that this week, don't pick new things. Get that down. Get that down to where it becomes so normal for you. And then you need other people. You need other people in your life. I will tell you right now, I've skipped workouts. I've decided to hit the snooze button. I've never done that when somebody was waiting for me at the gym or I was meeting someone there. Make yourself accountable for the things you're going to be consistent about, even if they're small stuff. Don't just say, I'm going to lose 100 pounds, or I'm not going to, drink soda for 30 days. I'm done with social media for 30 days and see how much more I can get done. I'm going to, and pick a couple things, but tell someone else that you trust, and then they may say to you, what do you want me to do? You want me to ask you about that every day? You going to check back in? Are you telling me because you think I need to? Let them know why you're telling them, because you want somebody that you're going to have to answer to. And maybe if you had a sponsor, if you were in a 12-step program, you're struggling in a moment, that's somebody you can call. And so find some accountability and track your progress. Write it down, how to go every day. Because here's the reality. Visible goals lead to visible growth. Write it down, put it on your mirror in the morning, put it in your car, wherever you're going to see it, and then plan your resets. Because failure isn't final. I would say rest fast and get back to work. Like you blow it, all right, take a step back. All right, I said I wasn't going to look at social media for 30 days, and that might not be the one for you, but something like that. I'm not going to eat carbs or whatever it is. All right, but then you did. Okay. Well, I'm just a failure. Nope. Back up. Hey, I hadn't done that for like 7 days, and I did. Well, let's reset. Let's start. I'm going to do 30 new days. I'm not just going to go, I messed up 4 times throughout. Nope. Until I get the 30-day goal, I'm going to keep starting over. I'm going to keep starting, and I'm going to take a day off. I ate some chips. All right. Maybe I'll eat a bunch of fries later today. But tomorrow, I'm starting fresh. Rest fast. Get back to work. Men, here's the reality. We need men who are consistent. We don't need more guys burning out. We don't need people flaking out. We don't need people leaving their marriages. We don't need more people, just abandoning their courageous calling. Remain curious. God will develop you. You will change throughout time. You will grow. Your friends will change, but stay connected. Your communication will change. You'll keep getting better at it. And hopefully your consistency will start to level off. Some of you are great at being consistent. I'd love to hear from you in the comments, because I tend to be a pretty emotional person. All in, all out. But I've got to have these disciplines in my life. I've got to have other people. I work out in the morning, 5 o'clock a.m., and I do it with my daughter is 15 years old, before she goes to school, before I go to work, and knowing that she's counting on me gets me going. How about you? And so here's what I would say. We're not looking for flashy. We're not looking for sexy. We're looking for consistency. It's the grind. God honors the grind. You see the faithfulness. Well done, good and faithful, consistent servant. Well done. To the end, you finished well. We're not just looking for you to go, today, I'm going to do all these things. No, pick a couple things, because thriving men, they don't wait for life to change. They show up for life, and they make a change. What do you need to change today? I'd love to hear it in the comments. I'll keep you accountable in some of the comments. As long as there's not like thousands of them, then I'll help you. We'd love to create a community here. I think it's better for having had the conversation. If you like these manhood videos and you'd like more of this type of content, I'm working on something right now, just a Warrior's Way idea of prayer and the battle that we do in prayer. Would you like to hear that geared towards men? If so, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share this with somebody that you think would be blessed by it, and stay consistent, my friends. I'll see you in the next video.